Many people have an interest in history, history of culture, peoples, and areas, time periods, industry as it progressed, and there's a strong interest in all of these topics in archaeology as well. Hint, there are many types of archaeology and geology and anthropology and other ologies that tackle various subjects that may be of interest. When growing up, I thought archaeology was way beyond my grasp and went to school for something entirely different. 30 and some odd years later, I decided to reapproach my desire to get involved and learn more about history and archaeology, and I did so by being introduced to the skill of atlatl throwing at an event, and a gentleman then steered me in the direction of a local chapter. Dave was an inspiration and gave me that initial push. I soon found out that a friend, Bernie, was also involved in the same chapter, and I took a further leap. Bernie has since passed, but not before passing on more ambition to get me involved. Once introduced and taking part in some chapter meetings, someone said they were working on a project to study petroglyphs. Now, my interest peaked long ago on this topic, early 90s to be exact. I asked if I could tag along and volunteered to go with the group. And my education in that topic that was burning bright in me started by that group. And I came to find that they were extremely knowledgeable and well immersed in the skilled trade and the business of actually teaching what they had already known. In fact, the journey was started with one teacher, and then on to the 3 additional individuals who were thoroughly wrapped up in a project to study and document petroglyphs in the Ohio River Valley, Ken, Brian, and Tom. And they all wanted to teach and share information, and the learning experience began. So what did we learn so far? It is never too late to learn, experience, share, and take part in activities that you may find desirable or dreamed about, and do it. Volunteer, get involved with local chapters, whether it's history or archaeology, fossils, geology. There's groups for each of these topics, and they vary. And you can get involved at a chapter level, a club level, or historical societies. Get a feel for these various groups to see which may be best for you, which is a match. Look online, maybe look up a topic of interest one step at a time and see what is near me in the search results. Here is a big pointer. Learn, practice, and experience in microdoses. We can proceed with small steps at a time, and I want to do some of that. And then after basics, I'm going to turn you people over to some other channels that may start to cover steps in depth and detail. First, there are multiple types of archaeology, many levels, and we'll go through them. What I hope to do in a few future videos is maybe cover some basics. These were maybe topics that I learned many years ago, and then I was able to experience the wisdom firsthand from the wise, people that were involved in these experiences directly. Depending on age, you no doubt experienced a far different learning or school experience long ago compared with modern. To be frank, the info I learned long ago in a private school setting was horseshit. The experience you learn from locals who know an area specifically can be extremely beneficial tool and a good start. These groups and chapters can then explain far more and start to clarify. And eventually you'll find yourself getting to a different kind of learning and a universal learning. Warning, there are wackos out there and they can lead people astray. And I often, and I will do some of it, might be controversial to some, no doubt, but I will make an effort to point out the valid from the unreasonable, and I will try to back it up the validity where available with some topics. I hope to discuss why some simple amateur and avocational archaeologists can be extremely helpful, insightful, and have valuable information that weighed carefully with details and helps. Be an open mind, but be a smart and rational mind. I hope to inform stuff like amateur beginners to not fear sharing experiences or assessments of their simple artifact finds that they may come across, and how they can not fear sharing that info with professionals in the field, and how that professional can use the information to further date a site, place or clarify a culture of people from that site or time, and even identify an actual site if it is a site, be it a coke oven, a logging camp, indigenous pre-contact site, colonial homestead. But the main thing I hope to allow these people who are sharing their information to learn that others don't want and will not take those items. They want that info to help, and they can look, give insight, and use that info. And you can carry it on home with you and probably have more value in knowing the details of that particular item. That's just a small sample of one of the things I like to clarify as I progress with my videos. So I'll continue to have my usual videos as well, highlighting sites, experiences that Timber and I share when we're hiking, exploring, or enjoying life. And I hope the new segments that I'm going to do are enjoyable and helpful to others. If you like Timber Adventures, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and follow, and comment as well. We like interacting with our viewers. So once again, I'm going to say thank you, and I hope that you enjoy our future episodes.